Hey everybody, welcome back to our read aloud of The Boy on the Porch by Sharon Creech. I am reading this with permission from the HarperCollins Publishing Company. And today we're on chapter 29. There is a glare in my glasses. I apologize. John was in the sheriff's office. "You find old man Crankin's cow?" the sheriff asked. "No, that's not why I've come." "You lose something?" "No." The sheriff's thumb slid across his badge, shining it. "Well then," and so John told him about the boy, and how the boy had appeared on their porch and how they'd become protective of him and fond of him. The sheriff pointed a finger at John. "So are you saying you lied to me?" "Well, sir, I did try to." "You lied to me. You said you were watching the boy for someone." "Well, sir, technically we are. We just don't know who that someone is." "And you didn't bother to report this?" "Well, sir, I did try. You may recall I came here to inquire about a missing boy." "But you didn't tell me the whole truth, did you?" "No, sir, not precisely. I probably should have asked about missing parents." "You could be locked up for this, you know that?" "No, sir. I'm telling you, you could be locked up for this." John took a step back. "Do you mean to tell me that protecting a child and feeding him and caring for him is a crime?" The sheriff again pointed at John. "It is if you don't have permission. It is if nobody knows where that child is. He had a note. See? 'Please take care of Jacob. He is a good boy. We'll be back when we can.'" The sheriff studied the note. "How do I know you didn't write this note yourself?" "What? Look, I didn't write the note. We don't know who did it. We figured they'd be back later that day or the next day, and nobody knew where this boy was." "What? The people knew, the people who left him. And maybe they told other people, and we knew where he was. My wife and I knew. Don't be getting clever with me." "No, sir. No, sir, I won't." "So why did you come in here today?" "I suppose we ought to try to find the boy's family." "You tired of the boy, is that it? Ready to be rid of him?" "No, sir, no. My wife, she'd be heartbroken to give him up. But we want to do the right thing by the boy." "And you expect me to believe that you didn't snatch this boy from somebody's yard? This boy just appeared on your porch one morning." "It's the truth." The sheriff's receptionist, Darlene, came in from the back room. "What's the truth?" she asked. They were all in the barn. Marta, John, Jacob, and the sheriff. Marta's heart was thumping in her chest. John's tongue felt as dry as if he'd licked sand. The boy was sitting on a hay bale, drumming on a pail with 2 sticks. The beagle was curled at his feet. "So, this is the boy?" the sheriff asked. "The one that just appeared one day." Marta wanted to grab the boy and flee. She wanted to thunk the sheriff on the head. She wanted to scream. "Let's have a look at him," the sheriff said. "Come here, boy." The boy kept drumming, engrossed in his work. "Is he deaf or what?" "No," Marta said. "He doesn't obey?" "He doesn't know you, that's all. Or maybe he didn't hear you because he's concentrating." The sheriff approached the boy. Marta slipped in front of the sheriff and knelt beside the boy. "This is the sheriff," she explained. "He wants to meet you." "What's his name again?" "Jacob. He doesn't speak." "Boy," the sheriff shouted. "He's not deaf. You don't have to shout at him," Marta said. "And he has a name. Jacob." "Yeah, you told me." "Boy, look at me. How'd you get here?" "We told you he doesn't speak," Marta said. "Boy, did these people snatch you and bring you here?" "Sheriff! Did they, boy?" The boy drummed on. "Are they keeping you pinned up here in the barn?" "Sheriff! Does he even nod yes or no?" "Sure he does." "Then why isn't he doing that?" "Boy, did somebody else bring you here? Did somebody drop you off?" The beat of the tin drums was lively. The beagle thumped his tail. "Where are you from, boy? Come on, say something." "He doesn't speak, Sheriff." "So you said. Maybe you threatened him, told him not to talk." Marta stood. "Sheriff, we did not threaten him. Look at him. Does he look afraid? Does he look threatened? No, he looks content. He is happy here." The sheriff walked around the property and checked inside the house. He saw the drums and paints and the small room that had been set up for the boy to sleep in. "And you say he just appeared on your porch one day. Is that right?" "Yes," John said. "Out of the blue, just like that?" "Yes." "Sort of like that cow appeared one day?" "Well, sort of, but not the same. I mean, the boy wasn't tied up to the railing like the cow was. The boy was just asleep on the porch and he had a note. The cow didn't have a note." "Uh-huh." The sheriff tapped his boot against the railing. "And how many days has he been here?" "Days? Well, now, let's see. I can't exactly remember. It's been more like weeks." "Weeks? He's been here for weeks?" "Well, now, I don't exactly. And you're just now getting around to reporting it?" John sank onto a chair on the porch and pressed his hands to his face. He did not want to cry in front of the sheriff, but that's what he felt like doing. He wanted to sob like a baby. "Sheriff, we didn't mean to get attached to him, but okay, I get it. I've got kids and grandkids. I get it." "You do?" "Look, it still sounds fishy to me, but the boy looks well cared for, so he can stay here for now." It hadn't occurred to John that the sheriff might take the boy away. That thought filled John with such dread that he thought he'd be sick all over the sheriff's feet. "Sheriff, you couldn't just take, the boy isn't yours, but you couldn't just take, I am the law." The sheriff tapped his badge and returned to his car. "I'll be doing some checking around. I'll let you know if I find out anything." John and Marta were rattled with worry. Shh. In front of the boy, they tried to remain calm and cheerful, as usual, but at night they lay awake. "I should have gone to the sheriff," John said. "You had to do that sooner or later." "I wish I hadn't gone. I didn't like his tone, did you?" "No, he acted as if we were criminals. As if we had stolen the boy. As if we were keeping him here against his will. The nerve." The next morning, the boy started a new painting in the barn. He had already filled the lower section of one side of the barn with a wide landscape. Blue trees and red paths and purple animals and blue and red and purple swirls and bubbles in the air. He found some black paint and created an enormous black cloud hovering over the scene. Marta came running into the barn. "John! John!" What's wrong? Is it the sheriff?" No, I just realized. It just came to me. Look." She stood beside him, lowering her voice and indicating the painted scene. "Maybe that's where he's from." "What? You think he's painting it?" "Why didn't we ever think of that?" "But Marta, what? You think he's from a blue forest or something?" "No, don't be silly." They watched the boy begin a new scene. It looked like a creek. Marta tapped the boy's shoulder and turned him toward the other wall with its completed scene. "Do you know that place?" she asked. The boy regarded the painting. "Is that where you came from?" The boy scratched the back of his neck. "Is that your home?" The boy scratched his knee. "Marta, maybe he doesn't remember." "How could he not remember?" "Well, you know, kids might not. How could he paint it if he didn't remember it?" That night, Marta suggested a plan. "We'll go exploring." "We will?" "All three of us. See this map? See this circle? We'll get in the truck and cover all this area. And we'll be looking for what exactly?" "For that scene he painted." "For blue trees and purple animals and Red Creek?" "Don't be silly, John." All right, that's where we're going to stop for today. I feel that we're still in the rising action. It kind of feels like we're getting closer to the climax. I hope we are, but my question to you, if you're following along on our read aloud, just post it in the comment below. Do you think this scene is the boys' home? Answer in the comments and I'll put what I think. Bye.